Hello everyone, this is Ross Mullins with YourDailyAnalysis.com, and this is your free daily video. I'm going to get started today on the GBP USD, the pound dollar. Let's take a look at the daily chart just so we can get an overview of the current market status. We have been in an uptrend basically since the beginning of the year, highlighted with this blue trend line, showing us the higher highs and higher lows within that trend. That lasted till just several days ago, peaking high into the 5990s, just underneath 1.6 thousand, and falling back down here into 1.5700. What I find interesting here is a couple of things. Of course, we've seen the open and close underneath the trend line, which in a typical scenario would give us cause to believe that the trend has broken and it's going to continue lower. But the other side of that factor is we'd also want to see lower highs and lower lows. Well, within this break, we haven't even seen lower lows. The last low was over here at the 1.5650 area. So we didn't see a lower low. We still have a higher low, even though we've seen the break of the trend line. So still a little bit cautious whether or not this trend has truly been changed or truly been broken. If you really just take a quick overview and a kind of a view from 30,000 feet, you can notice that between this top gold highlighted area and the bottom green highlighted area, we've been in an area or a period of congestion, a range or channel, however you want to define that, between this vertical red line and the current market. We have been in a period of congestion. I'm just going to put a couple of black lines here just to represent. Actually, I'll make them red like the vertical lines. So just to represent, those are too hard to see. Let's go with the black lines. Just to represent somewhat of a range from here all the way down into this area here. We have seen the market holding within this box, basically highlighted here with the vertical and horizontal lines, and has not really broken out of this box. So what I'm continuing to watch for is the fact that since we're at we tested here closer to the bottom of this range, there is a chance that this could continue to press back higher. Until it breaks out of this, creates a lower low or a higher high, I still think there's a chance it could remain within this box. So that being said, the lower it gets within this box, there is a chance to look for buy opportunities. The higher it gets within this box, there is a higher chance of looking for sell opportunities. Right here in the middle of this range that I have highlighted with the black trend lines or the black lines, right here in the middle where we are right now, I think it's a 50-50 chance. Yes, we could bounce off the blue trend line and go back down towards the bottom of the box, and that would be, of course, an ideal scenario. But I think if we get back above the 5,800 level, there's a pretty high probability that we're heading back towards 5,900 or even into the 5,950 area. So keep that kind of as an overall perspective of the pound dollar as you work with this and look for risk-reward scenarios, low-risk, high-reward scenarios, that there is a bit of a range that has developed over the past month or 5 weeks or so. So keep that as an overall perspective. Yes, we have broken underneath the blue trend line, but I'm not entirely convinced of a new trend development since we have a higher low within this range. Now let's take it down to the 4-hour chart, get a little bit tighter into the market. Yesterday, we in the trade room we spoke about the break of 1.5735 and the fact that if it got above 5735, we'd look for a challenge higher. There were several resistance points that we were going to look for, but back into the trend line was a really good profit target on the break of 5735, and it challenged right here into 5800, sitting there right now. So if you did take those buys above 5735, this is a good place to begin protecting profit, maybe even closing your trade, because there is a likelihood it could bounce off of this trend line and head back down towards the bottom of the range that I have highlighted. A break here, a push back above 5,800, an open and close above 5,800 here on the 4-hour chart, the likelihood increases of a push back towards 59.20 or even higher. As we spoke about last week, 59.45. If it breaks 59.45 on the daily chart, we're likely to see 6,100 met. So those are, that's of course a long-range target. but that is a possibility here for the pound dollar. Let's get a little bit tighter into the market, head on down here to the 1-hour chart. And what I find interesting here on the 1-hour chart is the placement of the horizon indicator. This proprietary indicator provides indications where support and resistance are going to be within the market. This green and blue line or dash that are right here where the trend line is holding as resistance. If we see an open and close above 1.5810, that would also break this horizon indicator and indicate our next move higher. Let's also, here on the 1-hour chart, throw this trend line, this 1-hour trend line, from the top to the bottom within this trend. And we also notice we're also above this 1-hour trend line. So I'm not really ready to take a sell, even though we're testing into the daily trend line, because we have too many indicators that are pointing to a possible continuation higher. We've broken this previous support. We have broken the 1-hour trend line. There is too many indicators telling me that there's a potential for this to continue higher within the overall daily range that we highlighted. So what I'm watching for today, an open and close here on the 1-hour chart above 58.10 to 58.20 will lead me to believe we'll continue to press higher. 50% retracement of the previous downtrend sits at 58.40, and the 382 sits all the way up here at 58.75. That also becomes a potential resistance target based on these this area of congestion here. In fact, let me move this line down just a little bit. I'm going to put that one at 58.55. I'm going to drop this one closer towards 58.75. So 58.55, 58.75. If you highlight this a little bit, you'll note that there is an area of congestion here. This becomes a resistance target area above the current market if it continues to press in this direction. So for those folks that may have taken buys on the break of 57.35, this becomes your next profit target. If you're going to remain in those buys and not close them here into the 5800 level, this becomes your next targeted zone here into the mid 5800s. Beyond that, of course, is into the low 5900s. If you decide to look for sell opportunities, if you feel like the trend is down and you want to trade in that direction, this area right around 5800 becomes the best possible entry point for those sells, because you're testing into the trend line and the daily trend line, and that becomes a potential sell opportunity to head back down towards the lows into 5700 and another test of these last two lows that you see down here highlighted in green. Beyond that, if it continues to press higher, I think you have to wait for the upper 5800s, 58.75 for your next sell opportunity into this resistance area, or beyond that, you even go all the way back here into the low 5900s. So your best sell opportunity for the closest to the market right now is this area right around 5800. Otherwise, a break here, we look for a test even higher, potentially all the way back into the low 5900s. Thanks for joining me for this free daily video. If you would like to subscribe to my premium service where I cover analysis for 7 major currency pairs every day, you can start your 10-day trial by clicking the Get Started button below. And feel free to leave any comments you have about today's video in the comment area. Have a great day in the markets.